According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, over a recent 5-year period, 1 in 4 households was touched by a crime of violence or theft. If this trend continues during the next 5 years, there is a good chance that you or one of your 3 neighbors will become the victim of a crime. That doesn't have to happen. Not long ago, in several cities like Detroit, Seattle, and Boston, where crime was rising, there were sections of those cities where crime was going down. Each of those cities was faced with the same problems of reduced budgets and fewer police. So why was there crime reduction in some areas and not others? The answer may surprise you, and we'll get to it soon. Over the past 100 years, our society has become increasingly mobile. Traditional neighborhoods where everyone knew each other began to fade away. As a result, we witnessed a dramatic increase in residential crime. Traditional law enforcement had become, for the most part, reactive. In other words, officers responded to a crime after the fact. Since law enforcement cannot be all places at all times, this reactive approach did little to reduce crime. Increasing crime and violence prompted a number of progressive law enforcement officials to develop an innovative program where the citizens would work with instead of rely on law enforcement.
We are not an occupying force that's charged with maintaining order, irregardless of how you feel about it.
When the community works with law enforcement and private industry, problems get solved very, very quickly.
This approach to crime prevention became known as watch programs. Today, it's called community-involved policing. The interesting thing is the original idea of community-involved policing was first described by Sir Robert Peel, an English statesman who, back in 1829, set forth the mission for the London Police Department.
To maintain at all times a relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that the police are the public and that the public are the police being only the members of the public that are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of community welfare and existence.
It has taken almost 150 years for us to finally realize that unless every one of us takes responsibility for the safety and security of our own communities, our future and our children's future may be in jeopardy. From their beginning, watch groups have had a significant impact on crime. Many have since developed into comprehensive, community-wide programs that not only help make neighborhoods safer, but also address other important issues. By following basic guidelines, Community Watch improves our quality of life. Burglary prevention, child safety, and health education are just a few things you can learn to help make your homes, streets, and schools safer. When law enforcement and citizens unite, they become partners with a common goal of making their community safe. When you become the eyes and ears for law enforcement, you take the fastest way to reduce crime. Learning how to identify and report activities that lead to crime will save lives and property. Law enforcement can provide the training and act as a consultant to educate people about crime prevention, not to mention putting criminals in jail. By getting to know your neighbors and looking out for each other, small groups of people can make the neighborhood not only safer, but a friendlier place as well. Other concerns such as disaster preparation, fire prevention, health issues, and first aid also can be dealt with. Once a watch group has been formed, a collective, powerful voice can be raised to address any issue of concern. As neighbors get better acquainted, a feeling of community is created. Gradually, the neighbor gets put back into neighborhood. Your program also increases the feeling of security, which reduces the fear of crime. Examples of successful programs are common. In the early 70s in the city of Detroit, the chief of police had waged an all-out war on crime by establishing special units to react quickly to robberies. This task force didn't reduce crime. Instead, it alienated the community. Shortly after a new chief was appointed, an experimental watch program was started in the Crary St. Mary's district. The results? Over a 2-year period, crime decreased by over 50%. An analysis of burglaries a year later astonished officials. Not one of the burglarized homes was a member of the watch program. Not only had the crime rate decreased, but the fear of crime was also reduced, and the sense of community was improved. People were able to live and work in a better place. Results like these can occur in any community. As we've seen, law enforcement cannot fight crime alone. They need our help. An active community watch program is a simple and effective way to get started.